The keyboard has become a weapon of war. That's the message coming out of the UK's Ministry of Defence, or MOD, as the country grapples with cyber attacks from all angles. China, Iran, and North Korea have all been highlighted as threats. However, it's Russia and its hybrid warfare tactics against all of Europe that is the most immediate problem the UK needs to confront. It's about to do just that. The UK is gearing up to unleash a $1.35 billion kill web that is being designed to send Russia back to the Stone Age. This isn't just about defense anymore. With its kill web, the UK is going on the attack. On May 29th, the UK's Defence Secretary John Healey announced that his country will be investing more than $1 billion into new cyber defences. The UK intends to build an entire army of hackers who are capable of infiltrating an enemy's computerised systems while defending the UK's own cyber assets from threats. Those hackers will be aided by artificial intelligence technologies, allowing them to work faster and do more damage than ever before. Healey's goal is simple: transform the UK's forces so that they're just as capable as Russia's forces at using the keyboard as a weapon. The UK says that its new cyber offensives will be conducted via a new cyber and electromagnetic command unit, with that unit also being responsible for overseeing precisely how the $1 billion plus is spent. That unit's goal is to create a kill web, powered by artificial intelligence that both connects all of the UK's military systems and reinforces them so they can adequately defend and attack against any hostile nation. Healey hasn't revealed much beyond that, except to state that the new unit will set new standards in defence for the UK. He was also asked if the UK's plans involve building the ability to attack other states digitally. The response was simple: yes, the Cyber Command is part of removing duplication, setting new standards, giving new authority behind defensive and offensive cyber. That's worrying for Putin. The UK isn't just recruiting a new team of hackers to target Russia's online systems, it's restructuring everything about how it does cyber. For the first time ever, the UK will have a dedicated cyber force backed by substantial investment that's capable of waging the sort of non-traditional war in which Russia has specialised for so long. Healey makes that clear by emphasising the threat the UK faces. "We are under daily attack," he told the press on May 28th. "Increasing attacks, and this is the nerve centre of the UK's military that helps us defend against these attacks. The keyboard has become a weapon of war, a weapon the UK is now prepared to yield." We'll dig deeper into Healey's comments about how often the UK deals with cyber attacks soon. First, there's an obvious question to ask: how is the UK's kill web going to work? Healey hasn't provided many details. That makes sense. The UK naturally wants to keep as much of this new unit under wraps as possible, with even the announcement of its budding existence being enough to put Russia on alert. Telling President Vladimir Putin and his cronies precisely what that unit will be doing would give the game away, allowing Russia to prepare for whatever the UK intends. Still, we can speculate based both on what the UK has done in cyber in the past and what such systems tend to look like. Since 2020, the UK has relied on a group named the National Cyber Force, or NCF, to conduct hacking operations on behalf of its military. The group defines itself as a partnership between defence and intelligence, and it currently leads the UK's offensive cyber operations. It works alongside several UK departments, including the MOD, the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory, and the Secret Intelligence Service, with its goal being to bring cutting-edge espionage and research techniques to the UK. We know for certain that the NCF isn't going to be disbanded or remodeled under the UK's new $1 billion plan. Instead, the new Cyber and Electromagnetic Command will take the lead on the UK's defensive cyber operations and coordinate offensive capabilities with the NCF. Beyond structuring, we can also speculate about what the new kill web will look like. The Telegraph says that the majority of the $1.3 billion will be invested into the creation of a digital targeting web that's set to come into force by 2027. Powered using artificial intelligence and a bevy of new software, that web is intended to connect all of the military weapon systems the UK uses across its Army, Navy and Air Force. The goal is to create a completely interconnected system, hence the kill web moniker, that allows for all three of these forces to make quicker decisions and react to incoming threats faster. The Telegraph provides a potential example. Imagine that an F-35 fighter jet is flying over the English Channel. That jet's sensors pick up a threat, such as a Russian ship that isn't supposed to be in the channel. With the new kill web, the sensors automatically transmit that threat to an interconnected system of software and artificial intelligence, allowing a rapid decision to be made about whether the F-35 confronts the threat. Alternatives might also be suggested, such as sending in a drone to face the threat or even conducting an offensive cyber operation against it. Think hacking into the threat's computer systems to see why the ship is there and what it intends to do, and you get the idea. It's also believed that the new command unit the UK is setting up will be capable of exploiting the vulnerabilities in an enemy's electronic systems. Leveraging the expertise already developed by the NCF, the new unit could use electromagnetic warfare to jam signals being sent to drones and missiles, intercept communications, and even degrade an enemy's command and control centers. Again, we have examples of how this might work. To combat Putin's invasion, Ukraine has often stopped or at least delayed Russian advances by using these types of technologies to find enemies and attack at scale. Cyber intelligence has been key to many of the massive drone strikes Ukraine is conducting, as well as to the kill zones it's been setting up near Russia's biggest Ukrainian targets. If it seems like Ukraine is always a step ahead of Putin's attacks, it's because the country has developed a complex cyber offensive force that provides a constant stream of information to its troops on the ground. The UK is trying to create something similar. Healy practically said as much himself when talking about the UK government's new Strategic Defence Review, or SDR, that's set to be published on June 2nd. Healy says that this SDR recognises the Ukraine war has proven that those who prevail will be those who are not just better equipped and better trained, but better connected, and also capable of innovating ahead of adversaries. There's a hint of recognition in these comments that the UK has allowed itself to fall behind Russia and other threatening nations in this arena. Getting back ahead of the game is what our new cyber command will allow us to do. And that leads us nicely into digging into why the UK has chosen now to set up its new $1.3 billion kill web. The most obvious reason is that the UK, like many nations, deals with cyber attacks constantly. The Telegraph notes that 2024 and into 2025 saw the MOD deal with 90,000 of these attacks, which is double the number it faced in 2023. Many of these attacks come from what the UK considers to be hostile countries such as China and Russia. As Healy puts it, this is a level of cyber warfare that is continual and intensifying that requires us to step up our capacity to defend. Of course, it's not just sensitive military systems that are targeted by Russia's hybrid warfare. A large part of the success of cyber attacks comes down to the fact that they often target businesses and non-military organizations. These attacks will serve a military purpose. They're designed to destabilize a country's economy and internal systems, weakening it from the inside by creating chaos. The UK has to deal with plenty of these seemingly non-military cyber attacks. According to the UK's Department for Science, Innovation and Technology, or DSIT, around 50% of UK businesses and 32% of the country's charitable organizations reported experiencing some sort of cybersecurity breach in 2023. The larger the organization, the more likely it was to come under attack. About 70% of medium-sized businesses and 74% of large businesses claim to have been hit. Charities that generate more than $673,000 in annual revenue are also targets. 66% of them said they had to deal with cyber attacks during 2023. The cost of these attacks, which ranged from phishing, impersonating organizations, and traditional viruses and malware, weren't extravagant. DSIT estimates that the average cost across all businesses was around $1,600, though this rises to closer to $14,000 when only accounting for medium and large businesses. Still, it's clear that a threat exists. The good news for the UK is that its businesses and charities seem to be getting better at identifying these threats. In 2025, DSIT released a follow-up report covering the scale of cyber attacks in 2024. It found that 43% of businesses and 30% of charities reported breaches, both decreases compared to the previous year. DSIT also provided more specific figures this time around, adding that these percentages accounted for 612,000 businesses and 61,000 charities. For context, the 2023 figure of 50% of businesses being attacked amounted to 718,000 companies. However, the cost of these attacks are going up. The previous average of around $1,600 per business rose to $2,155. The UK may be getting smarter when it comes to identifying cyber attacks, but its organizations are paying heavier prices when they get tricked. Moving back to more significant cyber attacks, The Telegraph reports that the last 6 months going back from May 7th have seen what it dubs nationally significant cyber attacks double. RBC Ukraine adds that at least one of those cyber attacks was conducted by Russia. On May 21st, it reported that the UK, along with several of its allies, had identified a massive cyber operation believed to have been conducted by Russia's GRU Unit 26165. The attack involved Russia using several techniques, including guessing credentials, spear phishing, and even targeting interconnected cameras. Russia targeted organizations involved in sending aid to Ukraine, with transportation, logistics, defense, IT services, airports, and even naval operations all being victimized by the attack. In truth, the UK has known that it's had a Russian cybersecurity issue for a long time. Back in December 2023, the UK government was accusing Russia of conducting a years-long cyber campaign against it, which involved stealing confidential data that was later made public. The point here is that the UK is dealing with cyber attacks from Russia and other enemy states daily. Most of these attacks target businesses and charitable organizations, with thievery followed by a side helping of destabilization often being the goal. However, larger attacks are growing increasingly common. With its new kill web, the UK wants to prevent Russia from causing more damage than it already has. And that brings us to the second reason why the UK is investing $1.3 billion into cybersecurity. It has to, because the systems it has right now aren't up to the job. As The Telegraph says, May saw the release of a report by the UK's Commons Public Accounts Committee that warned that the country's government computer systems are crumbling. The reality the UK has to face, claims the report, is that the strength of those systems has been outpaced by the UK's enemies, and the country is severely lacking in experts who have cyber skills. In the public sector alone, over 25% of IT systems were discovered to be vulnerable, with many operating using old legacy technology that is no longer properly supported by security updates. That lack of support creates opportunities for cyber attacks. As technology advances, these legacy systems grow ever more vulnerable, leading to a higher possibility of data theft and similar issues. The stats seem to back up the claims about the UK's cyber skill issue. In September 2024, DCIT reported that around 44% of the UK's businesses, amounting to 637,000 companies, have a basic cyber skills gap. Around 27% of them have advanced skills gaps, such as a lack of penetration testing for their systems, which leaves them vulnerable. Worse yet, this skills gap even affects the UK's cyber firms, which many would assume have the best credentials when it comes to dealing with cyber attacks. Around 30 of those types of companies have technical skill gaps. While DCIT notes that the UK is getting better on the skill gaps front, with the 2024 figures being better than those revealed in 23, it's clear there's still an issue. The UK has a cybersecurity problem and not enough people to fix it. Countering this skill gap issue is a priority for the UK's new kill web. In February, the MOD announced that it was launching a new scheme designed to fast-track suitable military recruits into more specialized roles. Cybersecurity was mentioned as one of the key focus areas, with the MOD saying it intends to create a new cyber pipeline that will transform recruits into cyber specialists in a matter of weeks. Under this scheme, the MOD claims, successful recruits will be serving in operational roles by the end of 2025. Basic cyber training will be reduced by 10 weeks to about a month, after which the recruits will complete 3 months of more advanced training at the Defence Cyber Academy. In other words, the UK is going to be using the next 2 years to prepare as many people as possible to take part in its new kill web. By the time of the web's launch in 2027, the country will hope to have hundreds, if not thousands, more cyber specialists who've already been serving in an operational capacity. Healy emphasized the need for these new recruitment methods when talking about the new kill web. The hard-fought lessons from Putin's illegal war in Ukraine leave us under no illusions that future conflicts will be won through forces that are better connected, better equipped, and innovating faster than their adversaries, he says. By attracting the best digital talent and establishing a nerve center for our cyber capability, we will harness the latest innovations, properly fund Britain's defenses for the modern age, and support the government's plan for change. Cut through the political buzzwords and you get a clear message. The kill web is coming, and the UK is doing everything it can to build the army of hackers it needs to ensure the web is capable of closing around its enemies. That brings us to another reason why the UK is launching this new cyber scheme. It needs to step up its attacks on Russia. That's according to The Week, which says that though Healy didn't outright say that the UK believes it's fighting a cyber war against Russia, we can read a lot into his comments that the kill web will give the country the ability to attack hostile states. The simple yes that Healy delivered offers the first admission by the UK that it's going to start these attacks. They're likely already happening. However, until now, they've never been confirmed, with the UK only previously having been open about using cyber warfare to attack terrorist groups. Now, Russia is being cited as the key reason why a new cybersecurity unit is needed. Based on Healy's comments, that unit is going to be hitting Putin's digital systems just as hard as Russia is hitting the UK's. All of this leaves us asking the obvious final question: what comes next? On the technical side, the SDR we mentioned earlier is set to be published in a couple of days, with a large portion of it likely to go into more detail about automation and cybersecurity. We don't know just how much detail the UK will deliver about its new kill web in the SDR. The odds are that the report will focus more on the need for the new cyber unit rather than the specifics of what the unit is going to do. Still, we might be able to glean a little more information when the SDR is released. It's also worth pointing out that not everybody in the UK supports the creation of the kill web. That's according to the Financial Times, which says that several experts are skeptical about the entire project. One serving reserve officer who wishes to remain anonymous said that he was of two minds about the kill web. Obviously, electronic warfare and cyber are critical, said the officer, but I'm not sure that the way to cut through bureaucracy is to create more organizations and layers. The officer may have a point. The fact that the NCF will still exist upon the creation of the UK's kill web may make sense in terms of the NCF acting as a go-between for the unit and its various military partners. However, there's a risk of a too many cooks spoiling the broth situation arising. The more groups that are involved, the more permissions have to be obtained before the kill web can respond to a threat. The UK has to be careful here. If the goal is to be able to respond to threats faster, thanks to an AI system capable of making quick decisions, the layers the reserve officer mentions may be a barrier that needs to be negotiated. Still, these are potential challenges for the future. For now, the headline is that the UK is gearing up to unleash a new cyber army that will be ready to fight against Russia by 2027. Putin should be worried. For too long, the UK has allowed itself to fall behind in the cyber game. If the kill web ends up being everything that it promises to be, we may be seeing the start of Putin's hybrid warfare tactics being used against him. But what do you think about the UK's new plans to get ahead in the cyber warfare game? Is a little over $1 billion enough to help the UK catch up to Russia and its other enemies? Will bureaucracy become a problem as the kill web comes closer to its launch date? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and remember to subscribe to The Military Show for more videos covering the latest developments in the UK's armed forces. Now go and check out UK submarines can destroy Russia in 55 minutes, or click this other video instead.